When we practice yoga, we're not only strengthening and stretching the muscles that we use for everyday activities, we're reducing the effect that stress has on our bodies. By practicing a few postures, along with the breathing techniques that we use in yoga, we can improve our strength, we can improve our exercise ability and our balance ability. We can even reduce the risk factors that are known to cause heart disease, like hypertension or high blood pressure. We're going to begin our yoga practice today, starting in easy pose. Easy pose is a resting posture where we can just bring our awareness to our breathing mechanics before we start our regular practice. So I'd like for everybody to have a seat. We have a couple of levels here. Carrie on the end here is going to be just sitting all the way on the mat. Teresa in the middle is going to be modifying that, giving a slight elevation in her hips, sitting on a beanbag. And then we have our other Carrie modifying in a chair. Now, if you're uncomfortable seated on the mat without support behind your back and you really don't want to sit on a chair, you can also sit against a wall. It's just important to remember to keep your shoulders drawn against the wall and your head and neck away from the wall. So to start easy pose, you can have your hands palms down on your knees, or you can also have your hands in the center, one resting on top of the other. Now, if you notice, Carrie underneath her feet cannot reach the floor all the way. So I'm going to place a block underneath her feet so she has a little bit more support. You can always use props. I always encourage using props. So you can close your eyes in easy pose and start to bring awareness to your breathing. Now we practice Ujjayi breathing or yoga breathing, which is inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. When we inhale, we grow the spine tall. And when we exhale, we allow those shoulder blades just to slide down along the spine. And you can spend just a few moments at home in this pose, bringing your awareness to your breathing. The belly draws in toward the spine. Legs start to relax. The muscles in your jaw start to relax. Now, another of really wonderful postures that we can combine together to start to generate some warmth in the muscles is called cat and cow. Now, we're going to show you different variations and modifications to get into this posture. Carrie on the end here is going to go ahead and place her hands carefully on the mat and pull her body forward, coming into a tabletop or all fours posture. Teresa is going to unfold her legs and slide her legs to the side and gently just lift off the beanbag and then slide the beanbag to the side and then come into an all fours posture. We're going to leave Carrie here in her chair and she's going to place her hands on a chair. If you don't have two chairs at home, you can always use a table or some other type of firm surface. So your gaze is straight down in front of you. Your spine is long. Slide your shoulder blades down away from your ears. On your next inhale, draw the navel in toward the spine. And as you exhale, I want you to slowly draw that spine up towards the ceiling, seeing if you can press each bone on the ceiling, feeling that nice stretch across your shoulder blades, letting your head just relax. And as you inhale, we're going to reverse this into cow pose, letting the belly fall toward the floor, lifting the chin and the neck. Now, if you are uncomfortable, if you have any arthritis in your neck, I want you to keep that head a little bit more neutral, looking down at the mat. Great job. Inhale, draw the belly in towards the spine. As you exhale, come back into that cat pose, arching the back, drawing those shoulder blades up towards the ceiling. Tailbone draws into the mat. As you exhale, let that belly fall. And again, any arthritis or discomfort in the neck, bring that head back to neutral. And let's do that one more time. Exhale, press the spine up, feeling that nice stretch. And inhale back to that neutral spine. Now the next pose we're going to practice is called tree pose. It's one of the basic balancing poses that we practice. I'm going to have Carrie fold her toes over and lift her hips into downward facing dog. I'm gonna have Teresa do the same thing, only she's gonna keep a slight softness in her knees. And then she's gonna carefully walk her hands back towards her feet. And when you're able to get your heels all the way down on the floor, I'm gonna have you slowly roll that spine up to a standing position. Carrie M, I'm gonna have you go ahead and draw your right foot forward and your left foot forward and slowly roll that spine up. Carrie, I'm gonna go ahead and have you stand up. And I'm going to remove your chair, bringing your hands to heart center. Now, if you're at home and you're using a chair, you can always bring your hands to heart center and see how you feel with that balance. You can always place one hand on the chair and hold the other hand at your heart. So find your gaze in front of you, and I want you to be aware. I don't want you to look down at your feet, because then you can possibly cause some discomfort in your neck or your spine. You want to keep your spine neutral. So your gaze is going to be on a diagonal out in front of you. Begin to bring your awareness to the left side of your body. Grow tall through the spine. As you inhale, begin to peel your right heel off the floor. And just gently walk that right foot over to your left leg. Now, anytime we lift one foot off of the floor and we're balancing on one leg, our tendency is to let that hip drop. So really be aware of keeping the spine tall and the hips level. Now maybe you can gently lift that foot off the mat and place it on the inside of your thigh or just your toes. And if you're using a prop for stability at home, you can always lift your foot and place your foot on the middle part of your calf. And if you want to take this a step further and you need a little more challenge, as you exhale, and I'm going to have you watch Carrie, you can extend your arms overhead into full tree pose. Inhale, grow tall in the spine. Exhale, let those shoulder blades slide down along the spine and relax. Steady gaze. And on your next exhalation, bringing the hands back to heart center and slowly releasing that right foot back to the mat. We're now going to prepare for Shavasana. So to end our yoga practice, we practice Shavasana. Shavasana is restorative, it's recovery and relaxation. It's a time for you to reflect. We have a couple of modifications. I'm going to go ahead and have Carrie extend her legs one at a time all the way out onto her mat. And if you have low back problems, you can place either a really thick rolled towel, a blanket, or a foam roller, which I have back here, underneath your knees. And I'm going to walk in front of Carrie here and place this under Teresa's knees. So this helps to alleviate a little bit of her back discomfort. And she's going to walk her legs all the way out one at a time. And then if you wanted to practice Shavasana seated in a chair, again, we're going to help Carrie and put a little prop underneath her feet so her spine's in a nice straight alignment. Shavasana is a time for you to just recover. Eyes are closed. Your feet can be out to the side, so you can wiggle your fingers and toes. You can draw your feet all the way in toward one another and then draw them back out away from each other, and just feel the flexibility in your ankles. Just feel how those ankles feel. With Shavasana, your breathing's relaxed. Shavasana is a time for you to just be. You don't have anywhere to go. You don't have anything to do. It's a time for yourself. Now we typically spend anywhere from 7 to 10 minutes or so in Shavasana, bringing awareness back into the body. Wiggling fingers and toes. Rolling over onto your right or your left side. And if you have a bolster underneath your knees, you can just slide that out of your way with your feet. And if you're seated in a chair, you can lower your head towards your chest. Just draw your chin down. And when you're ready, pressing yourself up into a seated posture. And bringing your hands to heart center. From the light in me to the light in you. Namaste.